America, in force of the vaccine, do not take the avian flu vaccine because there's nothing wrong with you. If you're just a normal person, you can trace your lineage back to grandmas and grandpas, and you know who your parents are. Don't take the vaccine because the vaccine coming from China, China's armies are an arm of the Antichrist, and so they're just going to kill innocent, normal human beings with this vaccine. It's going to hurt you. It's not going to help you. It can't keep you from getting alien flu. You won't get it anyway if you're not an alien. Some kind of also intestinal flu. The whole thing with the bird thing, I've been trying to find that because they really pulled this off the last year or so, showing that, it's hooked to birds and poultry, and we're killing all our chickens because they're spreading this avian flu, this poultry flu. And that was a lie. And what I think that is bird is also another term for aliens. And so I think what they're signifying, how they signal everybody around the world, all these Satanists. In Daniel it says the Antichrist understands and speaks in dark sentences. And that's how all these occultic societies are. They signal each other, and they have all these codes. And some people that have been in it and gotten out can recognize what's going on with television cues. Sometimes you'll hear words or sentences or see someone do something, and it's a signal to everybody else. And I'm on the outside on that when I don't understand it. But that's what they do. It's almost like a secret handshake. But on the news programs, they have secret words and signals they use. But I think the whole thing with the poultry was letting everybody else know the aliens were being affected, that they were being affected, that it was them being affected. And so I think that's what the whole thing with the chickens and stuff was just a signal. And also, enforcing and contriving a famine as part of their plans anyway. They've been sabotaging the food supply for years. And so I think it's just a facade. I think that whole part of it is symbolic. I don't think you have to fear your chickens. I think there's just some kind of a signal to let everybody know that they were being affected by a plague. And they know it's about to increase in September. They know that the Most High is going to increase the orgone. I don't think they figured it out, it's orgone yet. I think they're going to hear about when I'm saying that it's the orgone, and then in September reevaluate stuff and look back, and then freak out or whatever they're going to do. It's going to be too late by then, because the orgone's in the Lord's hands. I mean, the stuff we put out has energy to it. It emits a life force, a positive energy. It's what gives the earth life. And so there's nothing evil or wrong with it, but when the Lord increases it, it affects evil. Evil can't stand it. Something I'm seeing is that our government had some kind of agreement with these aliens, with the chemtrail program was part of this agreement. With the use of chemtrails, it's like a layer. It imprisons everybody on the earth to be under this layer of chemtrails. And this wasn't just a phenomenon here in America. Chemtrails are being laid all over around the entire world. And what it was doing was suppressing the life force energy of the earth and turning it into almost like a concealed globe of dead orgone energy, sucking all the life out of it. Because Satan can't stand life. He can't stand positive. He can't stand light. They were going to darken and dim the atmosphere and create DOE, dead orgone energy. Also, another thing that it does is it puts aerosols in the air so that they can run their holographic programs in the skies so that people see Jesus coming through the clouds and they see his angelic hosts, his angels, and this whole facade they have planned. There's like 101 uses for these chemtrails, and it was part of the agreement that they had with the government, because I keep seeing some kind of an agreement they have, and the orgone kind of breaches the whole thing, kind of destroys the whole agreement, because an orgoned area will wipe out chemtrails, and they can't stick. I mean, you could drive through Ohio at any time, or certain parts or whatever, and you're always going to see fluffy clouds. And places I've been through from one end of this country to another, you're going to see nice fluffy clouds because the areas are so orgoned, chemtrails can't stick. And so we've effectively put a dent, a real wrench in their chemtrail program. And so I think that they see that coming as well, because they're not going to be able to have, at least in a worldwide spectacle that they were planning. I think they're going to save it for Jerusalem, and hopefully our warriors in Jerusalem have been busy with the orgone that we've sent over there years ago. Just to wipe them out completely. There's going to be no place on the planet for them to go to. So another thing that we could be looking for is that they know they've got to hide. They know they've got to get into underground bases. They've got to get in areas away from the air. They can't breathe the oxygen in the air because it's going to be so orgone. It's going to overpower the air, the orgone. And so they've got to get away from it. They've got to hide. And so they're going to be going to their underground bases. And so it wouldn't surprise me to see Bush and Cheney and much of Congress take off to hide in underground bases in September. The only problem being, what do you tell the public? You know, nobody up here is scared of anything, but our government's going to hide, and so they have to create excuses. They're going to be creating excuses, and this whole thing with Georgia, this province in Russia, Georgia, and going into war with the southern province of Sechia, whatever, and at the same time this bombing's going on between these two areas. Bush and Putin are sitting together at the Olympics. And I thought that was so ironic because it was almost like they were signaling the world, we're in agreement on this. You know, everybody just chill out, we're in agreement. And so I thought that was very symbolic, that while they're supposedly fighting and going at each other in Russia, sitting together at the Olympics. And so it's contrived. And what I think that they're going to do, and this is a long shot, is try to pull out Russia as the big boogeyman again. You remember the Cold War of the 1980s where, Russia's going to bomb us. They're building up their nuclear program. We've got to build nukes. We've got to put all this money into our military. And I think that's what they're going to do again. They're going to create an atmosphere that we're going to be going at war with Russia, so, we better go hide. Russia could bomb us any minute. We better go in the underground bases and hide. Because they're going to be hiding. And so, what are they going to tell the American public? We're hiding, but you guys try to survive on your own. They're not going to do that. I mean, they're going to have to come up with something. So it's going to be interesting. Perhaps with all their little terror brothers and sisters around the world, or cousins, or these aliens and hybrids dying, they'll have the public convinced that some kind of plague they have no control of, and so they're going to hide and everybody else do what they can to survive. It's going to be interesting. Because it burns them from the inside out, and eventually they die. Went over it last week, some of the effects that it has. So I think they may contrive Russia as a boogeyman for the time being, use them as a threat to our safety so they can go hide, or try to pull out the avian bird thing, because they know what's going to be amped. They just don't know when. But I think both sides are pretty much looking and knowing September is going to be a pivotal month. I know exactly what's going on. The orgone's going to be amped. I think they're still trying to figure out how it is they all die. I think that they've remote viewed ahead into the future, and they know something's coming in September, and they're not sure what. And I'm sitting here telling you exactly what it is. The other thing I thought was interesting is that I spent some time still again looking at Obama's code, because I don't think he's going to ever survive to get out of this year. And so, sure enough, in the Bible codes, some of the things that I've seen about Obama is that his brethren are the Muslims. And I know you guys aren't shocked. I can hear the gasp everywhere. He's with the Aryan Brotherhood. He's a Muslim, folks, and so whatever he says, and you want to think differently of him. And he's a creature. He's a beast. He's not even human. He's a creature. And the Bible codes describe him as a Negro beast and creature, and it's exactly how it describes him. And he's in an alliance with the Muslims. And if he were to become president of the United States and survive what's coming up, he would hand basically the allegiance, the keys of the United States symbolically over to Maitreya and the Muslims. And so he's just a pure puppet and pawn for Islam and the Muslim agenda, for Islam taking over the world. But you'll notice that they keep trying to sneak Hillary back into public view. I think it's because they don't know themselves either if Obama will survive alien flu, because he is a lizard. And so I think that they